Hello, everyone. I am Shannon E, and this is Drop the Mic Live Mic. It is Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am doing a topic tonight, having a candid conversation and doing a topic of discussion for tonight on polygamy. Okay. Um, the actions versus what is said versus the actions, like just different avenues when it comes to this thing that we call polygamy. Okay. One thing I want to say is that this conversation has been coming up in relation to cheating, in relation to nature versus nurture, right? When it comes to men and their natural state, which is to quote unquote be like I don't know, like just being able to cheat or whatever the case may be, letting that be their natural state of mind, having multiple women. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say, having multiple women. So all of these things have been coming together, has been coming to the forefront, has been different topics on different shows and podcasts and things of that nature, that I have become very interested in wanting to know what is the tea. Okay, what is the tea? Like, what is it that this topic has become so I won't say imperative, because I don't think that it's become imperative, but I will say that this topic of conversation has become very um consistent. Okay, I want to say that this topic of conversation has become very consistent. It has become very intense. It has become, I don't know, like it's kind of like it wants to rub off on people. Okay, it's trying to become a norm. Okay, the action, the conversations, the playing out behaviors of it, or whatever the case may be. And I personally feel like, and in my opinion, that nobody really knows what they're talking about, what they're doing, what they are trying to do. They're emulating and they're imitating what it is that they want, but they're not doing it in the right way. Okay. Polygamy is not something that I have ever been interested, will ever be interested in, or anything of that nature. So it's not something that I choose to just go about researching, right? So what I did do is try to find people who are in those sorts of relationships, so that we can come together and we can have a candid conversation in relation to polygamy. Okay, I want to give people time to share my live. I'm going to share my live. We're just going to talk. We're just going to have a conversation tonight. Okay, I did not, and I was not able to find anyone in those type of situations. However, I was able to get two people on who will be joining me in a minute to have certain conversations on tonight when it comes to polygamy, when it comes to a man's natural state, when it comes to women, when it comes to cheating, and how we are accurate about some of these things and how we are inaccurate about a lot of them. So continue to share my live while I get us together. Oh, boy, you got it going on. I'm a little under the weather, y'all. I just had a really, really bad allergy attack. That's how I know it's about to get cold again. Because I usually have like really bad allergies in the beginning of the summer and definitely towards the end. So I know the weather is beginning to change. Um, yeah, I know that's like a little TMI. But while we share this live, I didn't see the harm in it. But I need you guys to be with me as well. That's why I'm saying that, because ugh, it's horrible. So share this live. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. I'm also on Facebook. I need you guys to go to Facebook. Make it do what it do. Keep sharing my live. Mm-mm. Um, yeah, so all right. Well, first things first, I did do like, a little slight research or whatever case may be, just to find out exactly what polygamy means. Just to see like if the actions that I see when it comes to polygamy and the people that are trying to get into that field or whatever case may be is the same as the wordplay. You guys know that I'm big on definition. You guys know, and yes, I am big on definition. Reason why is because they are definitions to these words for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? Like everything does not mean the same thing. And often we articulate and we define certain things that matches other things, or we just put it together. And in reality, it has nothing to do with that. People do it all the time. I am people. So I like to be clear on what it is that I am articulating to the world. I like to be clear on what it is that I am articulating to myself. Okay. And that's just what it is. So when I am looking up polygamy, right, because my mind is thinking that polygamy is, well, when you have more than one spouse, period. That's it. That's all. That's the caption. When you have more than one spouse, right? Now we go into a conversation where I look up the definition of polygamy, right? I look up the definition of polygamy, and it has more definition to it, right? So it has more to do with having um maybe two wives, three wives, or something like that. Being able to take care of these wives, there is purpose in having these wives, and all of those things. Like it's not just a I want more than one type of thing. It definitely comes with more than I just want more than one type of thing. Okay, there's a whole system behind it. Okay, how like when we get married to our one person at the justice of the peace, or just in general, we get married and it's paperwork involved or whatever. There's a whole system behind polygamy. Okay, so when you're going around talking about you want to be in a polygamous relationship or asking people would they be in a polygamous relationship, you have to remember to get in depth in those kind of conversations and to define and what's really going on. You got to remember that. Okay. Hey, what's going on?
Durant, what's up?
I know that's right. Hello, everyone. I got Quez open doors. I like that. I got Quez
Peace,
on drop mic live mic with me.
peace, peace,
What's yes, yes. Quez,
bro.
please introduce yourself.
Keys,
I'm calling you what?
it's keys.
Keys. I'm sorry,
It's
Keys.
okay.
The whole time I'm thinking it's Quez. I'm sorry. But we have Keisa on with us tonight on Drop the Mic Live Mic. Before we even get any deeper, I kind of started the conversation, but now it's really about to be a conversation. So before we get any deeper, I would like for you to just introduce yourself, what you do and who you are.
My name is Keys Open Doors. Community organizer, influencer, all of the above. Overall creator. Yeah. Stay tuned for the next Grilling in the Garden event. If you're in the New York City area, we're gonna be in the Bronx on the 24th of August.
I like that. And I did actually see that today too, that you guys had something already, but I wasn't aware prior to. But
It's
yes,
all
he's
good.
definitely with the vegan food. Can you hear me? You can hear me clear? Okay, cool. I am gonna have someone else join us in a few minutes as well. This is another one of my peoples or whatever the case may be. So we're gonna have a candid conversation. I thank you for coming on last minute, and let's get to it. So the topic of conversation for tonight is polygamy, right? The reason why. I chose this conversation because I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not know anything about polygamy, right? I don't know anyone personally who is in a polygamous relationship or anything like that. However, this conversation has been like coming around, sneaking around my parts lately very consistently. And it has me very curious to know, do people really know what polygamy is? And what is it? Right? When I hear people talk about when I hear people talk about polygamy, I hear them often saying, like, they just want more than one person to be in a relationship with. But I know that it's a lot deeper than that. So that's what I want to get into. Do you know anyone who's in a polygamous relationship?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what a polygamous relationship is?
yeah, yes, I do.
Would you care to explain what you know, your knowledge?
Sure. Polygamy is when people their endeavors as far as lineage or love is concerned, they'll have multiple partners. Polygyny is where a man has multiple wives, which is what the world was based off of, right? So the all kingdoms, all areas, all civilizations was built off the backs of men having multiple wives because mathematics makes sense and biologically it makes sense. That's what that is. The only people that I know that are in polygamous relationships, I know the men in those relationships with multiple wives. I don't know any women personally with multiple men. Myself, I don't see any end result in it. Anything like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because my idea of anything is like, if we want to judge it or give it a gauge, it's like, all right, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So if everyone was doing that, where would we be? So that's usually my idea for things. So, people do what they want to do, but that's what I know.
Okay. All right. You said mathematically and biologically that it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Can you so I emphasize on that because when I do speak with people who are not in polygamous relationships, however, have the theory that all men are going to cheat because this is the way we were designed. Would you say that's equivalent to what you just said?
No, cheating
What's the
is when
difference?
you're not telling the person that you're with the other people that you're dealing with. That would be cheating. Um, when I say it makes sense mathematically or biologically, it's all right. So if a woman has two husbands, uh, who gets her pregnant first? What last name does she have? Who do the children? Who's the ultimate leader of that pack? Who has the end result? Who has the end word? Um, and we have the real way that it goes, or the common way that it goes, or the traditional way that it goes. The man's leading the ship. There's no confusion there. A man can have multiple pregnant at once. A woman can only get pregnant by one man every 9 months. So if I was building a kingdom, a man with three women, right? That's automatically three kids out the gate versus a woman with three men. It's one kid every year, mathematically.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So okay, that makes sense. I think that when it comes to like, all right, so the part where I think I was asking like, is it equivalent? Is the part where I said that a man may have the argument of it's in our nature.
It is, but don't use that. It's in your nature after you were being deceitful about what your goal. And that's why I said that's the difference between cheating and actually being upfront about the fact that you or may want multiple women. That's what they get caught up in. But that's like n- nurture versus what we were groomed to do, right? The whole idea of romanticism has been a thing that has been popularized in order to sell to women, the biggest consumers on the earth. If you can convince a woman to buy things, it's going to be the next popping thing. It's going to be the next popular thing. It's going to be the most sold out thing. From surgeries to Telfair bags to women going crazy to buy Stanley cups. No man told any woman to buy a Stanley cup, which is why men need to be in leadership positions. It's just a logical thing. Oftentimes, women can get lost in the things that they were made to believe they want. I give this example oftentimes, just like pick a holiday. Women are often the ones that feel left out from holidays because of FOMO syndrome, fear of missing out. I remember I had an argument with a woman one time because she was upset that I didn't buy her flowers on Valentine's Day, but she's allergic to flowers. Like, so what was the point? She said, it's not
Right.
about that, it's the thought. It's not the you thought that you wanted this because you saw other women with it, just like anybody with children, whatever the popular toy is, you're walking around with your child, say it's a fidget spinner. You could have a fidget spinner for the entire day. Other child with a fidget spinner, what happens? Mommy, can I get my fidget spinner? Because they want the other kid to see them with the fidget spinner so that they know they have it. Which is the same for eyelashes, surgery, shoes, bags, Stanley cups, and the likes. They tend to go, and that's what the guy's supposed to come in like, uh, and the father's there to be like, yo, be you, be unique to yourself. But that leads
Your
to
connection
the
is
man
kind of
leading the
breaking.
home.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's just it's breaking up a little bit. I want to hear everything you're saying.
Am I good now?
I can hear you, but it's just a little blurred. It wasn't how it was before.
Hold on.
Mm-mm. I can't hear you at all. Try try to come back. Try to yeah. I was gonna say that. Try to leave and come back while I fix this fan of mine. Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Mic check.
Yes, my check.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
all that it lends cadence to the fact that, like, I mean, we lose, especially in the black community, we lose sight of the fact where the backbone is and where leadership is supposed to lie. Where everybody else runs circles around us is that the fact that they know that the man is the leader of the ship. And our community is the only place where you hear women say, "I'll never buy anything for a man. I'll never do something for a man. I don't need no man." And then we see the results of that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So, but
Absolutely.
that's what I know about it. And it's all about a hierarchy thing. It's about a leadership thing. It's about the captain. You know, it's the captain. What you think
Uh,
about it?
I think that okay, so this is what I was about to say. I think that I like that you mentioned like leadership and all of those kind of things. And I will never take away from a man's role having to do with leadership, right? However, I do think that when it comes to, and I'm not talking about a man who may be serious about this topic or what he wants out of polygamy and things like that. I'm not talking about that type of man, but often the men that I would have certain conversations with in regards to this topic, it would be more of a um this is a natural thing. This is a natural thing for men anyway, right? So this is what we should be doing anyway. This is what we supposed to be doing anyway. But there's nothing else. There's no substance in that. There's no leadership roles in that. This is how I'm seeing it. This is my opinion. But there's no leadership role in that performance. There's no hierarchy. There's no kingship in that. There's no leading by examples. There's no wanting to take care of a tribe. It's like you're putting, yeah, a label, you're putting a label on it or whatever case may be. But for me, it's like that's not even it.
Yeah,
So that the confusion, when you're saying things like that, or even if you are able to get someone to join you in a situation like that and you're calling it that or whatever, your behavior and your actions is not adding up to that. So now it becomes more confusion,
Yes. If,
and it
like I said,
becomes mhm.
no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
And it becomes like manipulative, or like, like a bad thing. Like it becomes just something that's not a good thing,
Yes, like
and
twerking,
that's the hardship of it. Absolutely.
like twerking. It's naturally
Yeah.
in a woman.
No, you're right
Woman,
though.
in a woman's nature to move her body. It's in a woman's nature to be sexual, to be beautifully inviting to the eyes of a man. But we
Yep.
misuse it. We're all X-Men, but some of us, a lot of us, just chose Magneto instead of Professor X. It was better, yeah, Professor X. So it's like where you could be using these powers for good, we use them for evil. So it gets really daunting because it's like got to be honest at a certain point because women fight the leadership that they want from a man and not knowing that they're screaming for it. Like if she's twerking, what's the point, right? Because the moment
Hmm.
that you're twerking online, that was your advertisement. So you're putting out this mating dance, this mating call for all men and not just a man.
Right.
So and then they say, no, I'm not doing it for men. I'm like, so where'd you get it from? So they like to scapegoat it and say it came from Africa. You don't see no African women putting on lingerie to shake their ass online. Let's not
I'm
play
trying
this
to tell
game.
you.
Let's not
Yes.
play that. You
Yes.
shaking. But then at a certain point, then when we become numb to it, if like, do you want men to be turned on by it or not? Because then when the time comes for it, because if you're putting on lingerie for your birthday to just do photo shoots and go get your Dollar Tree balloons, then when it's time for the man that you actually want to be turned on by this, but you're doing it for all men, why would I even want it?
Hmm.
It's not special to me. Same would go for
And exactly.
it's
Exactly.
not
And the same
my
would go for a situation with in polygamy,
yeah, exactly.
or
I
multiple women. I don't even want to call it polygamy. I really don't even want to call it polygamy with certain situations, because I really feel like there's a whole system behind polygamy. There's like there's is really, yeah, that's just what it is. I'm not even gonna go past that. I just feel like there's a whole system behind polygamy, and I feel like if that's not what's coming with what you want in terms of just wanting more than one woman, I don't want to call it that.
well look at
Is
it.
that
Men oftentimes, especially in our community, being that they're lost, they don't have Professor X on their side, they misuse their power, so then they have multiple baby mothers, quote unquote, multiple wives. On the other end of things, women are so open to like, I don't want to be with no man. I don't, no man's gonna tell me what to do. But now you're doubling down on the single motherhood. So you have multiple children by multiple men when you could have just had her wife. You have multiple children. She has multiple children. She has multiple children. Now y'all got a whole tribe, kingdom, civilization. Let's go take over the world. Versus the other end
right?
of things. The other end of things, if we're hypersexualizing things, like men have if we don't have any OGs telling these young men that they're more than just getting quote unquote vagina or getting money, then you're going to be lost in this system because then the men aren't telling men that they're worth anything past those things. And if they can't achieve those things, they're not a man. So now you're not even equivocating a woman to actually an adult, a human, a being, a spirit, or any of those things because you just reduced her down to body parts. And
Exactly.
in addition to that, nobody ever tells men this is the expectation of treatment that you should get from the opposite sex. People aren't telling their daughters, here's how you're supposed to treat a man. Everybody just curates their whole panderism to women. Don't hit no woman, don't yell at women, treat women like this, be gentle, be soft, be kind, open doors, do this, so on and so forth. Okay, cool. Absolutely, I got it. What's she gonna do for me? What should I expect her to do?
It's funny that you say that though, because I am the mother. I'm a mother of a girl child and a boy child, right? And um, I have guy friends and things like that. And when they hear me sometime like talk to my son in a certain way, or present certain things to my son in a certain way, like so, for example, like you said, what from what I heard, what you said is basically like not only what is she gonna do for me, but what is a woman or a man even teaching that a woman should be doing for a man, or whatever the case may be, right? Or for himself even. When it comes to my son, that's exactly why I feel like it's equivalent sometimes, whether it be a boy or a girl child, or whether to teach them some of the same values and morals.
Like what?
hold yourself up to a certain standard as a man. Just because you are a man, you don't have to be all over the place when it comes to women. You don't have to have you don't have to like have this promiscuous behavior about you because you are a man. That's one thing that I'm definitely like big on, or whatever case may be. Understanding your purpose, you know what I'm saying? Like just knowing yourself. It's just certain things that we may teach our daughters, right? That I don't see a lot of parents teach their sons. So
Yeah,
I
'cause
say that to
your
say that often. Hmm?
sorry, I mean
No,
to
I
cut you
say
off.
that to say, I was just saying, like, I say that to say that a lot of the times it comes down to just what you said. Like, it seems like it's more pandering to everything to take care of a young lady or a young woman or whatever case may be, as opposed to a young boy, which a lot of it
Correct.
should be equal.
Well, what do you tell your son that he should expect from a woman that wants him?
Definitely, she should definitely be treating him correct as far as like the way she speaks to him.
What's that? What's
Do
that?
not
No, get
allow
specific. Get specific.
do not allow well what I would say to him is that do not allow a young lady to speak to you in a way that, one, I don't speak to you, yelling at you, telling you what to do. Always have a mind of your own. If it's not something that you don't want to do, do not do it to make her satisfied. It would be things like, don't allow her to curse at you, don't allow her to call you names, just because she's upset, don't allow her to call you out of your name. He's 9 though. Mm-hmm.
Needs to be told. I mean, that's when I started learning how to cut people's ass. I got teased, and then I got good with my words, and I became a fire missile. But I want you. I meant more specifically, like, cool, like this. You're saying that women should speak to him correctly. Don't let a woman yell at you. Don't let a woman curse at you. Speak to you incorrectly. Don't let her influence you to do some things that you wouldn't want to do, so on and so forth. Right? How do you
Mm-hmm.
teach them to speak it? Because it's like you tell them don't let it, but I feel, if I may input this, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you should be teaching him that what I feel like all men should be taught, which is women pick their leaders first off and foremost. Women pick their leaders. The problem is, of course, like I said, the misuse of power is when women pick their leaders, they don't understand that you're not just dating for yourself, for your own selfish wants, desires, carnal cravings. You're dating for your future. Women are solely the decisive measure in whether or not and who has a lineage on this earth. Period. Women are responsible for picking what man is good enough that we need to replicate his DNA and have more of him because we need more men and more humans like him. You know what I mean? So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we need to be teaching our young men that, for instance, women are to pick their leaders. So when a woman picks you, you are to expect her to speak to you. Not only don't speak to you incorrectly, speak to me with respect. She speaks to
Right.
you she speaks to you with a high regard, speaks of you in a high regard. Um, I would also include the type of woman that you're picking. What kind of woman do you want? The world is really his for the choosing because women outnumber us anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of woman do you want in your corner? And I like what you said. If she doesn't speak to you like mommy speaks to you, then she doesn't need to be around. That becomes a crutch in a little bit. It's a gift and a curse because now
Yeah, I know it does. It's true. It's true. It's
it
true
does.
because it's a different relationship. It's just a different relationship. So even at times where the frustration and the way I speak in my frustration, or vice versa, or even in good times or whatever the case is, the way I speak in good times as the mother will be different than as a girlfriend or a wife. So yeah, it can be definitely.
I'll lend this to you. You know what Freudism is?
What?
Freudism. Are you aware of the Oedipus complex or
No.
the Oedipus complex? All right, the Oedipus complex basically states in psychology that young men usually want a woman like their mom, and young daughters usually want a man like their father, which is the
Okay.
way it's supposed to be because we're the primary examples of the opposite sex. We're their first example of the opposite sex, right? Which is
Mhm.
why when they have their children, it's supposed to be skin to skin contact immediately so that she is able to connect with the child, also for the same for the father, right? In addition to that,
Yeah.
she's the first person that teaches, she's the first person that feeds, she's the first person that nurtures. So that is our very prime first example of the world and how we are to be treated from here on out. So the introduction to the world needs to be the very first primary and golden introduction for that any child, but yes, for young men as well. So then going forward, like for instance, I don't know. When I went to college, I realized how like the girls' dorm was dirtier than the men's, and I didn't understand it. So
Mm-hmm.
then when people saying like the absent fathers is ruining our young men, I'm like, do you realize what it's doing to these women? Because no man is going to live inside of a house where his daughter is keeping a dirty home. It's not going to happen. Somebody's allowing it to happen. A system is allowing it to happen. Whether it's a lazy single mother, whether it's a burnt out and tired single mother that can't get to it, but something is happening that we're not getting those traditional values. I remember at a time and point, I didn't know what hunger was
Mm-hmm.
because on a schedule, it was to be expected. So when I'm with a woman, I expect it on a schedule. I expect her on a schedule. I expect her up on time. I expect her to go get it. I expect her to multiply anything I'm doing. I have high expectations. Those are regular expectations. They become high expectations because everybody's doing the lesser. Where you got women regurgitating, I don't need a man. I'm not gonna do nothing for a man. I don't need to cook or clean. I know you don't need to cook or clean. I know you want to cook or clean for a man because you ain't doing it for yourself. Get these clothes up off the bathroom floor, shorty. I see it in so
Mm-hmm.
many young days, and then they don't care as long as they can put on lingerie and find a clean corner to twerk their ass on. Nothing else matters, and it's scary because then these are the mothers of the world. So if you're doing it, there's no way for you to say, yeah, I can do it, but my daughter can't. No, you need to be a prime example of that. There's nothing that I'm going to wear that my child cannot, my son cannot, nor my daughter cannot, except for pants.
Absolutely.
But my the example that I picked for my daughter is going to be the example of the dress code, the decorum, the behavior, the language, the lingo, and so on and so forth. She's going to be the example for that. So if I got a woman that loves to get put on lingerie on her birthday with the golden Dollar Tree balloons, then guess what my daughter's going to want to do? If I got a woman, a wife, a mother that doesn't love her own hair, her own skin, her own flesh, her own body, my daughter's going to have those same complexes because she had a prime example to train her and teach her to be insecure. So then
Right.
they go to men swinging for the low hanging fruit because if we got these OGs telling our young men that they only reduce to go getting vagina or getting money, then they never value themselves. They don't realize that their penis is powerful or valuable, that they themselves are powerful and valuable. So you're going to reduce yourself to the low hanging fruit. So if you see a woman who's hyper fixated on her body parts, then you already know that she's hypersexual. So he's only going to focus on the sexual and the body parts. But then women get upset, don't sexualize me, baby. You did it to yourself.
Oh, they got
Wait,
all this
hold
stuff.
on 1 second.
What's up, yo?
Yeah, John Jay,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got a
what's
lot
up?
of noise in the background.
Say that again?
You got a lot of noise in the background. You got a lot of noise in the background.
I don't even know what.
It's, it's okay. It's okay. If you busy, it's okay. I'll tap in with you later because I hear a lot of noise. It's all right. I know you're in the street. It's cool. All right. I'll talk to you. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. He was gonna come on and with his presence as well. But
It's all good. The attempt is appreciated. Listen,
yeah. Yeah. But
but
nah,
that's my
go
thing.
ahead.
Now you got a question? I'll talk all night. So what you got? What's up?
No, I know. You just loaded me with a lot. I was trying to catch up so I could so I could tap in. I was definitely paying attention. I was just trying to tap in so I could ask like question by question. I know one of the things that you mentioned in regards to like lesser or more as the woman uh having like a more structured background as opposed to not. What do you think about the women who aren't working, who aren't um out there doing all those extra things, right? Not necessarily wanting to be a traditional woman or whatever the case may be, but just a woman who schedule won't look like the norm of a woman that you are used to. You know what I mean? But not because she doesn't want to be that, but just because her lifestyle is different.
Give me an example. I'm sorry. Give me an example. What
So,
you?
for example, like like I cook, I clean. In a lot of aspects, I am a traditional woman, right?
Okay,
I
so
don't
share it.
party.
To marry me. I wear
I,
size 11, baby. Size 11 ring. You saying for like me, for instance. What you mean, baby? Call me later. No.
wait, wait.
Okay, what you say? Studs look like
But
so.
but because I am really busy, I am on a an entrepreneur journey. I am like, I am a single mom. I am, I have a young child who's in sports. I have an older child who's in college. I have a lot going on. You might, as a man, but somebody as a man may not have dinner at 5, 6 o'clock every night, what they're used to, or what they seen their mom do, or what, something like that, or something of that nature. You know what I'm saying? You might, I'm to be honest with you, I mean, I do cook throughout the week, but you might not have a meal every night. You know what I'm saying? So you might eat a leftover or two. You know what I'm saying? So this is the things that I'm talking about. Would that be considered to be lesser?
These are conversations that I have on day one. Like, are you gonna get that back tooth replaced? What's your blood type? Body weight? When I'm asking those questions, all those things are gonna be handled because I'll understand your schedule. A lot of times, like I said, back to the hypersexualism, we've so hyper focused on just what we can get on a surface level. A lot of times that we don't realize that has existential circumstances or and outcomes to life. You could have a baby, right? And we don't
Hmm.
realize our own energy, our time, our schedules. We don't look at it like that, but we're so focused on the other stuff because it's easy to get to. It's so easy to get naked and fuck. Like, excuse me, I'm so sorry. You
Right.
have sex.
Nah, you
It's
right
so
though. Yeah.
it's
We get
so
real raw on out the mic. It's cool. Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect your platform. Um,
You
And then when we focus on that, we lose sight of everything else. When you focus on the easy stuff, you lose sight of everything else. How many women do you know that became she hits 13, 14? Oh, I have curves. Now her interest in her clothing starts to change because she wants to buy clothing that's going to accentuate the things that she likes about her body,
So do you
right?
know what polyamory is?
Preliminary?
No. So we just real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but being as though you're speaking about like the sexual part of things, we often are saying polygamy, but what it seems like people really want is polyamory. They want to be able to fuck more than one person at the
Oh, no,
same
I'm good.
time.
Yeah, that's
That's
what usually when it's that situation, here's the thing. Oh gosh, how much time we got? Look, when men
that's
are
fine.
talking about I talk about the misuse of direction of the things that we internally want. Biology, right? Men internally want to take care of their women and their family and their children. That's a natural thing innately that we want to do. It's misguided when OGs are telling you to just focus on money and then money's going to fix everything, right? It's a misuse of direction. So it's the same thing with polyamory, right? Majority of the people that want to have multiple partners when they're women, they're only focused on sex. A lot of times women that want multiple men, they already had their kids. So they only focused on the recreation. They only focus on what's
Right,
going to be a benefit to them. It's like it sucks that a lot of times when women are talking about what a good man is, it's only relevant to when a good man is treating how he's treating a woman. It's never just a good man without a woman around. So we're only good men
right,
if we're doing it for you. That's indentured servitude. I'm good. When in fact,
right.
if we're talking, but let's talk about that
God bless.
scheduling thing. Uh,
Okay.
that's what sucks because you you're the child your children's father who's supposed to be your husband
Hmm.
was supposed to handle so much like enough that the weight of what you have to do on a day-to-day basis is not the full extent of that. In addition to you would have been his wife, so there wouldn't have been a conversation for the next man, right? So when the next
Right,
man is taking that up and you know that he's taking on the fact that you cannot offer all the things that uh I quite frankly you offer to another man and it didn't turn out good, right? Because then a man is innately going to want to be your only child's father, your only father of your children, right? He's going to be the only man. He wants to be the only man in your life. He wants to be the only reason, primarily, why your schedule is changing. If you have children by another man, your schedule is automatically going to be indicative of what you have to do for those children and the conversation that you're having between that children's father, right? So with that
right,
man those things, along with the obedience that you're supposed to come with as a wife, you're probably going to have to take a lot more than what you normally would, knowing that he's taking on a lot more than he normally would. So you may have to, there's going to be some compromises there. So you may have to
right,
meal prep on Sundays.
right.
You may have to meal
Things
prep.
like
You
that.
may have, and then that's where the sister wives come in as well.
Oh,
He
that's where the
he has a
polygamy comes
got a soccer game. They got ready break.
in. Is that where the? Are you saying like that's where the polygamy part comes in?
Oh my God. You don't want to cook Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Awesome. Wife number two. It's even a beautiful thing because then we'll be like, I ain't cooking anything. I'm like, sure, yeah, I probably do both of those things better than you do them. I wasn't asking you that, but I want to see what you do for yourself because that's the true sign of love. What you're doing for yourself is what you're willing to offer to others, which is why we get
Right.
misguided on dates. We got this romanticism that's been fueled by the thoughts of what media and consumerism is and capitalism is, because nobody really wants flowers, nobody really wants balloons, nobody really wants a stuffed teddy bear, nobody really wants chocolates. We've been made and
Well, why
conditioned
do
to
you
think
say
that.
nobody really wants any of these things? Why do you say that though? Because I don't think that nobody wants these things.
Nobody came up with that idea on their own to want those things. They saw other people wanting those things and decided they wanted those things. From cake on a birthday, you didn't wake up one day and say, I wanted cake. You started having cake because other people who adapted the idea of having a cake wanted cake on their birthday. But it was all a consumer ploy so that somebody could sell these things to us. The person that invented
Absolutely.
balloons, balloons, balloons.
No, listen. I definitely know that it was a consumer thing. I definitely understand that. I do think though that okay, so we're not always taught, like we don't just come up with things in our brain like all the time, right? We are taught. We see it. We experience it. Like so at some point we go through these things to know what we want.
I
No?
disagree. You're made to want these things. On Valentine's Day, the first thing that happens is FOMO. So the very first time that you see another woman with flowers or chocolates or teddy bears on the day that you don't have them, now you want them because you saw everybody else with it. Nobody really wanted the iPod. Good marketing. You saw other people with it. Most people that have an iPhone don't even use all the functions, and they want to convince other people to get an iPhone so that they feel like they made the right decision. It's
So
brainwashing.
what
What's
I know what you're saying. I definitely agree with what you're saying. But what do you think that what do you think are like, for example, like some things that we gonna just think of in our brain that we just want without seeing it or
the
experience it?
things that we actually like. How about I find out what plants you like? I like giving plants because especially they continuously grow. Every time you see that plant, you're going to think of me versus me buying you some flowers that are not in the ground or in soil and are going to die eventually within a week, especially because 9 times out of 10, most women don't know how to deal with the flowers that they're getting cut because it was the idea that they adapted.
But you see what you just said? You just said it's what you want to give. And we
What
just
that
talked
woman
about that
wants.
earlier.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
huh?
romanticism doesn't have to be what she was trained to think that she wants. It can be things that she actually wants. So how about I don't get you chocolates, I get you fruits on the day on a special day. How about I don't get you flowers, I get you plants on a certain day. How about you we don't go to a fancy restaurant that you saw everybody on TikTok on. We go to that hole in the wall that you really love. That's real my real idea of romanticism, but we have to actually like the person that's sitting across from us and actually want to know who they are.
Absolutely, but the thing is that well, maybe I misunderstood what you were saying, but in terms of like saying like, well, I'm gonna give you something that makes you think of me because that was thoughtful of me to give to you, but we didn't mention whether that's something that she wanted.
No, I'm saying that's something that we like to give. I'm saying something that that person actually likes. That you know that person likes and dislikes before you
Oh God.
even embark on them something. You got to know what they like and don't like first. But that starts with a conversation. It's just like, say I go buy you a plate of food and I didn't ask you if you have any allergies. Folks don't even ask you if you got any allergies, but you willing to tell me how you throw it back and you gobble and all this other stuff. But I can't even know you don't even.
Right. You talking yeah. Hold on one
That's
second. I just want to see
not.
if he can come in without the background. Let me just see if he's able to come in without the background.
Uh,
Joseph.
what's up? I'm in here. I'm here. What's
All
happening?
right, we good? All right. Okay, you
Yeah, I'm
good?
in the car. I'm beautiful.
Okay.
How you feeling?
All right, good. We don't have no background noise.
Booty is booty. Nah,
Yeah, we
no
got
background
okay, we
noise.
good. All right, cool. So
Chill out,
just to
mama.
tap in, we're talking about polygamy.
Yes, polygamy.
All right, so just Keys is on. We got Keys and we have what you want us to
Peace,
call you
keys.
tonight. I call you Joseph. He said
Yo,
peace, keys.
Joseph, you family. You from grade school. But you know,
Exactly. So
John
that's
Jay did
that's
it. Don't you
right
forget it for anybody else.
there. Okay. All right.
Shannon from
Just tell us a little
Soundview, what's up?
bit just tell us a little bit about what you do and how you do it, and then we just gonna continue on with the conversation.
Okay, so for the most part, you know, I'm a photographer, video director. I grew up in Hunts Point. We know each other because I went to school in Soundview, 152, 123, and all that.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody on that side. Hunts Point is adjacent to Soundview. We're separated by the water and the bridge, but those are my neighbors. You the reason that I tapped in on that side at a very young age when, you know, and that's how that happens. I don't even know why you chose me for this subject, but you know, I'm here. I mean, we were supposed to do it last week. I was down to do it last week for sure, but the
Yeah.
funny thing is, we would have did it today. I would have been on time, so I apologize. But the concert that I was booked for yesterday got rescheduled till today, so that's what
It's
brings me
okay.
here.
It's all good. You here. Don't worry about it. It's all good. At any
Hmm.
point in time, if you feel uncomfortable with the conversation, you're more than welcome
Check it
to,
out.
get off or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I'm good with the conversation.
I just really wanted to have like an idea from two different men perspectives
Okay,
in terms of this conversation. That's why I chose you for the conversation. I would have
okay.
loved to have another woman on here, but that didn't
Another.
pan out the way it was,
You said
but that's
another
okay.
what?
I would have loved to
Hello.
have another woman here. Yeah.
I'm actually
To
with
have
my lady and I'm with my sister in the car. They
Oh,
might
then don't
chime
worry
in.
about it. I'm at you, Joseph. It's all
No,
good.
I'm here.
It's
I'm
good.
ready to talk. But if you want women to chime in, they might
Oh,
jump
well,
in.
okay. I get what you're saying. I get what you're
They might
saying.
just
All
jump
right.
in.
All right.
You
All
know.
right. But I want to be able to hear everybody, okay? And I want to continue
All
on with the
right,
conversation. All right.
let's do it.
So please, if you could continue to tap in on what we was talking about. You almost time? It's almost time for you.
I was tapping.
Okay. Okay. So we talking about polygamy, right? We talking
Right.
about how it kinda, in my opinion, I've been having conversations with different people, and it's been rearing off to cheating, or it's been rearing off to like
Okay.
nature versus nurture type of thing when it comes to polygamy, and all of those kind of things. So we kind of like scrambled up in the conversation, but it's going great, and yeah, that's where we at.
All right.
We were at this moment, if I can remember, I know we were talking
Right.
about um children, the grooming of children. What else were we talking about, Keys? We were talking about um I'm kind of thrown off a little bit.
I'm
A couple
listening.
of topics that we covered. I kind of delved into. She wanted my perspective
A
on.
snacky snack.
Right.
The groom.
Joseph, I
Snackies.
need you to I
I,
can't hear you. I can't hear.
I hear you. I hear y'all.
I know. I know, but Keys is talking. I need everybody I gotta hear because it's kind of hard to
So
hear
I could put my
talking
phone on mute, but I'm in the car.
all right, that's cool.
All right, it's on mute.
All right.
All right. What's his name?
My
What's his
apologies.
name?
Joseph.
Joseph. So
Yeah.
I just kind of went over like my ideas on it, my theories on it, history on it, and the difference between polygamy and polygyny. And then you said,
And what is it? Poly armory? Polymery,
polyamory.
excuse me.
Yeah, if you're polyamorous,
Polyamory?
yes.
Polyamory. If I said it wrong, that's why you didn't know.
No, if you're polyamorous, that's the idea of polyamory, what you were saying
Okay.
earlier.
Yeah.
So
So
we went
that
over the
that's
difference of that.
So polyamorous, that's like cheating with a contract because it's like consensual. Like you don't usually do this, but I get your permission. My lady gives me permission to step out, right?
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
swingers game there.
Right,
Yeah,
right. I heard
Yes,
of that.
but
kind
it's
of sort of
basically
because that y'all heard of that?
yeah.
Say that again.
Y'all heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I've never
familiar.
heard of that. I've never heard of that. I researched it and I seen what it meant tonight. And I was surprised. So I think that what I was explaining to Keys is like I think that a lot of the times when people use polygamy, that's really what they mean.
Yeah.
When I
It's
go
a
in
it's
depth with the conversation and then it goes to something else.
yeah,
A
it's
lot.
no,
No, what? So you're right. A lot. That's what a lot of people mean, or that's what a lot of people they don't practice it, but they may think. So here's the deal. like I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Not short and sweet because I'm gonna engage. I'm literally about to go inside my spot. But I 1,000%, and I'm saying this in front of my sister, in front of my lady. They hear me. I 1,000% believe that men aren't meant to be with one woman. And why is it just hold on, hold on. Can I stop? Yo, you gotta chill out.
I
But
think
to
that's the.
me,
Uh,
huh?
I don't know.
Like
Go
I
ahead. Continue.
1,000% like like I think civilization, I think because of like numbers and things of that, like when you take those things into consideration, I don't think it's meant to be that
Look
way.
at y'all.
So no, I'm being honest. And I got my lady right here and I got my sister right here. And I'm being a thousand
He was
percent
saying the
honest.
same thing.
And I'm off the
Look at him.
double
Look
XL or whatever the hell you're getting. But I feel this. I didn't take none of that. I
All
feel
right, hold
this.
on, because there's a big but. We gotta get up on the but. The but means the difference. We need that. What do you feel?
Wait up. So what I feel is this though. There's different societal norms. Yes. You ain't got me locked in? There's different societal norms, 1,000%. But I feel like it's a challenge, right? A super challenge. And I feel like we need to be challenged. So if you're able to maintain or just kind of be monogamous, and this is just me, like I just think of one person type of thing. I think that's a challenge, and if you're able to step up and fulfill that challenge, then much love to you. But I
So
do feel that we're not meant to be with. I feel like we don't come from that. I feel like that's like a societal norm that's kind of instated with America. I do feel like marriage is a business. I do want to be married. I do, want to be faithful. I want to be monogamous and all that because I feel like that's the challenge. So I'm always up for a challenge. I want to strive to be that because I feel like in music and everything else, they promote, in a sense, it's like running and hiding, right? Like I go to Atlanta, I could carry a gun and the people around me, they got guns on them. So we have a different respect for each other. Before you say something stupid to me, you already have the initiation that I'm carrying and you carrying. So it's a whole different mannerism. In New York, it's like run and hide. I got a gun, I shoot somebody and I'm running. So the run and hide aspect, I feel like people kind of carry that with relationships. Let me do this on the low and run. You know what I'm saying? Like
we
I feel like a lot of people adopt that attitude when you could just kind of be upfront with each other and be like, you know what, I'm gonna take this challenge, I'm gonna take this step, I'm going to be faithful, I'm going to be monogamous, I'm going to strive my best to not step out. I'm all for that because it's a challenge. But I think by nature and by law, that men aren't supposed to kind of confine to one woman. But if that's the challenge and this is society, whatever, then I'm up for the challenge. It's like, all right, this is challenging. Let's do this. Let's beat the challenge.
when you talk laws though, what like in what laws? In what sense? We did talk about the mathing, but when you talk
Right.
about like laws in what sense?
So in America, right? And I'm not sure what so we have things that kind of that we subside to as far as like what country wise and then religion. One of my drivers is Muslim. And he's like, listen, you need chicken one day, you need steak another day. He has five, he's Muslim. He has five wives. So to me, that's kind of like a societal norm, but it's also something that's kind of pressed. You can stay on First Avenue, pressed by religion in a sense like that.
Right,
And
right.
whether you like it or not, hold on, give me a second. They're gonna go in that chicken spot. Okay, Lucy. Whether you like it or not, sometimes religion subsides everything that you. People have something called a cognitive dissonance, right? So let's just say I'm trying to find any like the most. Let's just say, and this isn't me at all, but let's just say I don't like gay people or something, right? Let's just
Okay.
say I was that person. I don't like gay people, but your child is gay, your son or your daughter is gay, and this oh that's cool for them. That's a cognitive dissonance because you kind of showing favoritism to things that work for you, but go
Right.
against your beliefs or your religion, right? You may shun something, but as soon as it's somebody that you care about, you're gonna grab onto it a little bit tight and you're gonna dismiss it. So people
Mhm.
kind of do that even when it comes to religion, because if you look at religion as the ultimate top tier, or like, listen, no, my religion says this, and my religion says I have to have 5 wives, I have to have 5 wives. Nothing's telling me
Right.
different. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Hmm.
kind of what I feel like people have a cognitive dissonance for certain things. And that's just kind of like the technical aspect. But in a
But are
smaller
you
and
saying that?
lamest term,
Are you saying that to say that's why religion comes into play as law?
me? Me?
No, no, no,
How?
not you, not you per se. I'm
I'm
saying
just
like,
saying to,
no,
okay, what's the
no,
topic?
it's on the topic. It's on topic. Is what I'm saying is that are you saying that's why law that's the version of when you mention law, like religion, right? Like so whatever you believe in is what it is.
Some people believe that, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Like people have a cognitive dissonance, or they show what, in layman's terms, you might call it favoritism, or you might bend the rules. But sometimes law and religion is kind of like the
But
top
see,
tier to
that's where
somebody.
the conflict comes in for me. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Uh,
I really don't mean to interrupt you. I just don't want to forget. But
no, say,
that's where
say,
the
say.
conflict comes in for me, where it's nature versus nurture.
Yes,
You
nature
understand what I'm
versus,
saying, Keith?
yes.
I see you over here smiling. You understand what I'm saying in terms of
Yes,
that
I
or
understand
not?
what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, because Keys is just sitting back listening. So I was trying to see if he
Right.
understood what I was saying in terms of that's where the conflict comes in for me as the nature versus nurture. I don't
Right, right.
know if I can honestly believe or see it that way, rather, because my belief is neither here, there, whatever. But I don't know if I can go into seeing it that way, that this is the natural state for men.
Okay. That's kind of like what I said at the, so we might be
Because
on the
of those
same.
reasons, that's my only thing. Because of those reasons,
Okay,
one
okay.
of those is the reason. Mhm. So, but I like your theory. I definitely like your theory, let me just be very clear. Nothing that we're saying
Okay.
is wrong. I don't think that
Right.
nothing that we're saying is wrong. I definitely see it on both of y'all points of views or whatever the case
Mm,
is. I definitely do, and I understand that
right.
men are gonna see things different from a woman.
Right. And
So
once again, I apologize for coming in late because I didn't get a chance to technically hear,
it's
his
okay.
point
It's
of
all right.
view
I know
as
you're
well.
very, very busy, and I definitely appreciate just your effort. I just I want you to be comfortable. I want the whole scene to be comfortable. So I definitely appreciate it, regardless.
Okay.
Um, so so all right. So and okay. So we had a lot that was said as well. One of the things that I remember in my head as you was talking, um, was okay. The challenge being monogamous, right?
Right, right,
Mm. A man of your caliber will go that direction because it is a challenge for you. Why do you think? Okay, so I feel like a lot of men, you know, are up for a challenge. I don't know. I could be wrong. That's my opinion. I
right.
do feel like you guys are very competitive. Like it's very much of a challenge for y'all to do. A lot of y'all don't conform to anything. Like it has to be a
Okay.
challenge.
No, and I'm down for the.
So, what is why is it not in that area? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Why is
What
it not then more in that area?
what was what not in that area?
Why is it less of a challenge for a lot of men in that area? It's like from what I've seen in my experience of life or whatever, like a man will do it, but it's kind of like they don't really want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Um,
it's it's the cheating factor. It's
I
the
think
okay, if
honestly,
I'm in this
so I
relationship, I'm gonna we talk about polygamy. Like it's like things like that. Like why is it like in that area of life, why is it not more men who are up for the challenge?
I feel like because there's an excitement when like I was saying earlier, like when it's like a hide and seek game. It's more of an excitement to, this is who I'm messing with on the side. This is who's not with me. This is, forbidden fruit is tasty. So I've heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's more of an excitement and thrill factor.
Okay. Keys.
Hold on, let me step out. How can I step out? I hear you. Can you see me? I'm
No, we
just.
can't see your face, but
All
it's.
right. Okay.
What's your opinion on that?
Respectfully disagree. If it was, well, we missed a
No,
lot
can
of
you
things that
mute
I
your phone real
Right.
quick?
Say that again.
Can you mute your phone real quick?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Go ahead, Keith.
like I was mentioning earlier about the whole thing that we're all X-Men was just like misdirected powers, right? The things that we're innately supposed to do, we're doing, but we're doing them wrong. From the women with multiple baby fathers to the men with multiple baby mothers or multiple women, right? If the brother Joseph, if he's saying that it's a
Yeah.
challenge to be monogamous, that means you're just fighting against nature, what you're naturally supposed to do. In one breath, if you're speaking on cognitive dissonance and saying that you think that that's conforming to a thing you're doing, knowing that it's against your natural way of doing things, then wouldn't that obviously be monogamy? Because monogamy would be the thing that you're going against. That's the natural way for you to do things where you're supposed to have multiple women, because that's how any man and all kings have built kingdoms. The thing is
It's
that
polygamy.
we're subjugating ourselves to trying to be with one woman to appease what crowd? Men or women? Women, because when you're coming from a selfish standpoint, women only want to have what they want to have. They like to feel on things. The whole idea of coming to you as a woman is only ego driven. Because the last time that, like, I was 18 and a woman tried to come to my girl as a woman, I'm like, you look stupid. She's not gonna believe me. And y'all thought I was about to sit here and engage in this? Baby, let's go. Let's go figure this out. Have a good night, sweetheart. All that coming to a woman because they want to show, they want drama, they want to be seen as the big head of the table because they've had misdirected. They've been misdirected. The moment that a woman thought that she was in power and she was the leader is the moment that she started wagging her finger in a man's face. No, because she didn't know that her place was never to get loud with a man. Any aggression that a woman has is supposed to be used for the benefit of our unit, not against me. You dig what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
when we're misusing our powers, women innately want to continuously have babies. Their body screams monthly, please put a baby inside of me, or I'm going to be in pain. Because they need to have babies, because their job here on earth is to multiply. The
Okay.
job that women have is to multiply good leaders. You find a great man that you think deserves multiple children, multiple wives. Because if you truly love your man, you know that you get tired of him too. Like, you know what? He deserves all the love in the world. But more than that, the world deserves more of him. How selfish would
Mm,
you be to say that this is the God of my kingdom and I only have him to myself? That's
right.
like, quote unquote, you a Christian and find Jesus and don't tell nobody. Crazy. You know what I mean? But
That's
when,
Okay.
like,
when we,
wait, repeat that last part. That's like what?
that's like Christians finding Jesus and never telling anybody.
Okay.
If it's
Okay.
But
so
that.
great for if it's so
Okay.
good for you, this is your God, this is your leader, this is so beneficial for you, this is how it's changed the world, but now you're keeping it a secret?
Mm,
Man deserves this man deserves that. But how often do we hear that in conversation? The last time we heard it was Destiny's Child in 2000. What would let me cater to you? Ever since then, it's been fuck men, fuck niggas. Let me suck this man's dick. Let me suck that man's. Let me do this and let me do that. So where promiscuity is put on the forefront, all the way to the point that women are still advertising when they're in a relationship. Because then, if you want to get mad at your man for liking the pictures of women that are dressed promiscuously, half naked, twerking their ass, then maybe you should never be online half naked. You should be the most modest woman in the world if you got something to say about it. So I should never see your ass online because there's niggas out there liking your ass. So are you cursing them out for liking your picture? I think not. So
That's where
let's keep
control comes in.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Control
what self
from.
control to not be online half naked. I
Huh?
agree. I agree.
Okay.
Self control, not be online half naked, not shaking your ass for the world because your ass shaking is meant for the benefit of the all men or your husband. Who's it for? But when women are continually trying to share themselves with all men and then try to take a man and say you only belong to me, sounds like she got a dick now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you gotta lay the
That's
rules in. Put your foot down. Where's
that's
the
true.
men at that open the doors? Men don't open doors no more.
I open
Men don't
doors.
carry. Yeah, I know.
Oh, now I'm about to get you. So men don't open doors no more. And when we do, what do we get in exchange? When we
Y'all
open
wanna
doors to
y'all
our
wanna look at the
doors,
naked picture?
so you don't step in the puddle. So when we protect you, when we lay our life down on the line, when we go to, because if the bullets start flying, we're the first person that gotta die for you. When we're picking you up, when we're going to lift up,
We not we can't
when
chill in
we're
them
taking
type
things
of
to the top
environments.
shelf, when we're going to fix things, when we're building, right? In exchange for that, we ask for nothing but peace. And what do I provide?
Peace too.
Give me something tangible. I named 10 tangible things that men are expected to do from the moment that we taught how to treat a woman. What were you taught on how and what a man is supposed to have? Your duty as a woman to a man. What are you supposed to do? Just give me 5. I don't even need 10.
As far as what a man is supposed to do?
No,
As
what a
far as what
woman is
we're
supposed
supposed
to
to do,
do. Man,
what a woman is
give me
supposed to do
5.
for a man. Definitely uplift. Definitely uplift.
Tangible.
Balance.
No, Shannon, give me tangible.
Respect,
No, that's not tangible. Give me
communication.
You mean tangible
tangible.
things you can hold on to, like physical?
The touch, something you do. So, like, let's do 1 for 1. Let's do 1 for 1. Baby, get this off the top shelf for me. I go get it off the top shelf. What do I get equivocally for that?
Get the stool.
A hug, a kiss.
No, no,
Get the
no,
stool.
no. Now you're trying to equivocate my utilization of tools and the things that I don't
It's a
want to
us
do.
thing, but it's a us. It's not just a me or you. It's a us.
Yeah, but it's a partnership. It's a partnership. You're
Right,
supposed to
right,
do each
In
other.
order
right.
for it to be us, you have to be exchanging something. So again, let's take it step by step. I got
But you're always
babe,
okay. Go ahead. I
babe,
don't think
come
that
get this
there's
thing.
a specific exchange.
Babe, Shannon, you notice how you never need a nigga until the nigga's around? As soon as I come into the crib, now it's you know this is
That's not
bro. You know,
true.
you pass me that. If I'm in the kitchen with a woman, it's over. I end up cooking. So I'm asking you,
That's not true.
trade for trade, thing for thing.
Mm.
If
You
All
you
right,
gonna
let's
cut
go.
the
Let's go.
vegetables
Let's
up when I
go.
babe,
cook the meal up.
if you say, babe, can you get this off the top shelf for me? Automatically, let's go trade for trade, 1 for 1. Now, what do you do? That's tangible. Don't say uplift, be spiritual, uplift, inspire you.
Like a
I want
financial
something tangible.
transaction. Hey, here's the money.
Well,
Like,
obviously, if I'm asking you to get something off the top shelf for me, in the kitchen, I'm cooking, right?
Baby,
I'm cooking.
you gonna eat?
Okay,
Are you
so
gonna
who
eat?
put the spaghetti sauce on the top shelf? Who did that? Since
man,
Well,
The
that's
nigga that brought the groceries in the crib. You giving me more jobs. The man that brought the groceries in the crib, more than likely.
you're crazy.
right. I'm putting the
but who brought
groceries
the
away.
groceries?
You pay for the
I'm putting
groceries.
the
Like,
groceries away,
Gas, Shannon,
right?
talk
So,
your shit.
now we got 3 things the man did. You ain't give me one that a woman do.
I'm putting the groceries away. I just said I'm putting the groceries away. I'm in
Groceries
the
away.
kitchen.
You didn't put the groceries on the top shelf. I did.
You put the groceries on the top shelf. You put one
Again,
thing on the top shelf.
Shannon, Shannon, Shannon.
Put the
If there's
groceries
one thing in
away.
your top shelf, I'm never coming back to your crib because that means just a missed space, and you're not even utilizing your whole crib like you're supposed to. And we gotta have a further talk. But let's have a talk about utilization. Men want to be used.
Wait a minute, because we breaking it down, but we're not really breaking it down. So let's backtrack a second. I'm not saying there's only one thing on my top shelf, but what I'm saying is that you may have, if you put the groceries in the house, right? I'm putting the groceries away. So there may be a few things on the top shelf, but everything is not on the top shelf.
2 and 1.
Right?
Go ahead.
Okay. So if now I ask you to get me something from the top shelf, because you're taller than me or whatever, and you get me something from the top shelf in the kitchen, that means that I'm already preparing to cook or I'm cooking.
Okay.
What
So
else?
you're telling me, so if you expect me to get things off the top shelf, I am by right to expect you to be cooking.
No, but see, I don't. But see, no, I'm not saying that. No,
Y'all don't want to do shit. Y'all don't want to do
He
shit.
said no.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not expecting. No, the thing is that I feel like I'm not gonna say that there's not things that we should be expecting from each other, right? Because we have those things, the tangible things. But when you get into like specifics like that, I don't really think that there's expectations for those things that we're mentioning. But I get what you're saying though. Like you should not be expecting me to cook because I asked you to get something from the top shelf.
All right.
Please.
What am I allowed to expect from you that's tangible? Let's go back to step 1 then.
You're allowed to expect a lot of things. So, like, if you're a
Name
provider,
one.
right? If you're
Name
working
one
a
thing.
lot, I'm
Shannon,
gonna say,
stop.
wait,
Name
wait, hold
one
on.
thing I'm supposed to expect.
You are supposed to. You're definitely supposed to expect a clean home. If you, you,
So
I'm
I should
gonna go
expect that
back.
you are responsible for cleaning the house.
You, what happened?
So I'm to expect that you're responsible for cleaning the house, all right?
You are supposed to expect a clean home,
So am I
right?
supposed to expect you
I
keep
mean,
the house?
it might be me cleaning, it might be the kids cleaning, it might be us cleaning. Yeah, you are expected, but
Yes,
I'm gonna be doing the majority of it. Yes, you know what I'm
it's
saying.
your
Depending on
job.
the dynamic.
Shannon, you know what the problem is? Here's a big
But
problem. Women can tangibly tell us all the time, tell us what they're not going to do for a man, right? Give us attitude, give us talk back, give us all this stuff, curse us out, insult us. But you know who they don't do that to? The person that signs their checks. Okay? So
oh,
if that man that is signing your checks never has to see your attitude, you don't give a fuck about work. You hate work, but he doesn't have to see it. You still show up to work. You still get your job done, but you know your job expectations and you have a list of duties. Just like a man knows if bullets start flying right now, my life is on the line first so I can make sure that you're safe without question whether you're my woman or not. What can I expect from women, whether she's mine or not?
please. Okay, but this is the thing though. When you're running
Nothing.
a household, when you're running a household, you are in and you're with someone running a household, you're in partnership. Now, I'm not saying that you can't expect things. I'm not saying that at all, right? I'm not saying that at all. And in terms of expectations, just a general expectation, when we talk about expectations, it is equivalent to when you're working at a job. However, running a household with your partner is not the same as working underneath a
Okay,
subordinate
but
at
here's the
at a
problem.
job.
Shannon, if you want a partner, that means that you're a lesbian. Do you want a leader, a provider, a king, a god? We're not talking about partnership.
Absolutely.
Partnership is for the LGBT community. If you in that, then we have a different conversation to have. We're not talking about partners. I'm never going to be a woman's partner. I'm her man. I'm her leader. I'm her king. I'm her god. I'm her protector. I'm the
You
guy
don't
that got to lay
believe
his life down. Hmm?
okay. Okay.
So we're not. There's no equivocation. There's no equality in a relationship. We as men already know it's fucked up for us. We are the most unprotected, even though we let women say it. Because the moment we come out the door, I got to worry about other black men, black women, and the police. Like that's
Okay, so with
automatic.
all of that being said, are you
Right?
creating a space for her to just do the things that you expect from her?
She should have been doing them before I got to her. The example of
Okay,
who she
but
is. She's doing,
she was. She
right.
was, right?
No,
We're
I'm
just
not
gonna
to
say she
ask her
was.
things up. Huh?
We're just gonna say she was. She was doing these things prior to you coming on board. Now she's with you. Are you creating a space for her to be able to continue to do these things with you now in her life?
I ain't stopping her. I don't make single mothers. I date them.
I didn't say
Stopping
that.
her.
I said, are you creating a space for her to be able to do these things effortlessly, all the things that you expect for you now, in terms of all the things she was doing prior to you?
What do you mean create a space? If she was already doing them, I'm not going to stop the space that she was doing it from. What do you mean?
Cooking, cleaning, structured,
Why would I say?
um, just to erase the whole idea of it being a partnership, because I agree with all of the things that you say, but I also feel like y'all are in partnership, because if this woman still has to do the equivalent of the things that you're doing as well as what you need her to do, right? Because you have things that you're going to provide for her as well as a kingship and as a leader, then you guys still are in partnership. If she has to still work, if she has to still get up at a certain hour, she still has to do all of these things instead of just being in a space where she can be a divine feminine and do what is expected of her as your lady, then I don't know.
No, because you don't value us. You just gave us the definition of misandry. You know what that is?
No.
Of course not. You know why you don't know what it is? You want to know why you don't know
Why?
what it is? Because media has taught you your whole life about misogyny, and that's only about how men mistreat women, but they never teach you about misandry. Again, to my point earlier, nobody ever teaches these women how to treat men. Misandry is when women mistreat men. New word for your vocabulary, and y'all
Okay.
operating that, but we're looking out for that, right? So what you just said, if she's doing all the things that she's supposed to do before I come along, I'm not stopping anything that she's supposed to do. But you're asking me, how am I going to create a safe space? I asked you details about creating that safe space. You said to provide more for her to do the things that she's already doing. Again, I'm
Mm-mm.
giving more. What am I to expect from her? Because now she's expecting me to multiply what she's already doing. If she was cooking, cleaning, maintaining her home, and she still got to work, she was doing all of that before me. Now there's going to be more, because in no point in any type of. But here's the thing: women have been misguided to think that once they
She
come
didn't
along
have
into a relationship,
she didn't have a man, so she was doing it on her own time as seen fit for the
right?
situation that she was in prior to you.
Listen, and then you said you want a man. A man should not be making it harder. He should be making it easier and providing things for her to operate further in the space that she's already operating in, right?
That's what you heard in your head. I didn't say all that, but yeah.
Right. Is that what you meant?
Easier. I don't know if I would say easier. I would just
So what?
say I would just you should just be making it to where
How?
yeah, I guess I could say easier. Yeah.
How? How?
If we're gonna follow roles, then we are going to more than for some,
Oh,
you're gonna
come
be the
on.
only
Go
one working.
ahead.
For some,
Go
you're
ahead.
gonna be the only one working, right?
Okay.
Because she's
So
working in
now
the
I'm coming to
household,
make it life
having
easier, because
children,
now you don't have to work at a job, right?
yeah.
Okay. So now I've come along. The duties you were already doing, right?
That's why
You now know.
I'm mhm.
Look, say you got 5 duties, right? And now I come along, right? And one of those duties was your job. So when I come along, you no longer have to work at your job. What do I get for that?
I'm working at home. I'm taking care of the
You was already
home while
working at
you're
home before I got to you. You was working at home before I got to you. Before I got to you, you was keeping your home clean. You was cooking food. You have to eat. So when you're
but
cooking
now
food,
it's
there's nothing.
but now it's on it's in the area and it's in the space of what works for us, what works for you. You might want your breakfast a certain way. You might want me to wake up at a certain hour. You might want
Oh,
this. You might need
you're
that. You
right.
might need this.
You're right. You're supposed to do what I say. You're supposed to assimilate to my schedule. You're absolutely right. Yes. So now, where you was waking up at 7 o'clock, you might have to wake up at 6:30. Where you thought that you weren't gonna wake, where you thought you wasn't gonna work out on 4 days out the week, you now are. Because this is, but you chose that before we even got into a relationship. You said, "Nah, he does this and this and this. I want that for my life," and you chose that over me. So now you're saying that you want me to change my schedule to fit your schedule.
You're going out. You're going out. I can't hear you. This is a great conversation. Keys, I can't hear you. Joseph, are you still there? Mm, okay. Well, I'm gonna see if Keys is back on, if he can come back on. If not, we're gonna end this drop the mic. This is a great conversation. Yeah. This is what we do on Drop the Mic. Okay. We keep it real. We have love, laughter, and honesty. And this is a great, great, great conversation. I think this is a real conversation. I think this is a conversation that has a lot to do with our mental state of mind, the way people operate, the behaviors we display, so on and so forth. As I continue on to have these kind of conversations with both men and women, I do feel that there is like no real resolve. Okay. What I'm finding is that it's kind of like to each his to each his own. I'm having another allergy attack. To each his own, into our own belief system. Okay, back to what Joseph was saying on tonight. Whatever it is that we believe is the way that we operate in the space that we're in. God bless. Um, the math, the mathematics, the biological, all of those things. Those are things from our past. I do think that as we grow and we evolve, not only is it evident that things has changed, but it is truly evident that things has changed, right? And I'm talking about in people, in religion, in different cultures, in different races, and in America and different countries. Like everything just has changed as we have grown. Okay, so we have to also take that into consideration. I don't think that we can just throw that by the wayside. And yeah, so that's pretty much what this is. Like, I'm not sure if we're gonna continue on with this conversation tonight. So drop the mic, live mic was another hit. I want you guys to catch the full episode. I will be having some previews on other platforms, Instagram, Facebook Live. But yeah, share this live. Have a great night, guys.